Míša z Klubovny, and we're here at Rock for People with
John from Trophy Eyes.
Perfect. Now it's actually quite early on. The festival hardly even started, and this is also your first time playing this festival. So have you even had the time to walk around for a bit, get some first impressions?
Not really. We showed up and we were escorted to the back of the stage, kind of where we put our belongings down, and we went to have breakfast quickly. But yeah, the guys are just setting up their gear now. But I'm sure we'll go for a walk around after we play. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you have a little bit of time to hang around after that.
Yeah.
Because it's quite a busy month for you. You just played 2 shows with landmarks in Dresden and Trenčín. How were those nights and standout moments?
They're really good. Yeah. It was strange opening again for a show, being the opening act. I guess we haven't really done that for a while, and there's like a certain responsibility that comes with it. I think that the people in the room really aren't your fans or aren't there to see you, so you have to kind of warm everybody up and put on like an extra show. But even though people aren't really like reacting, so it's different than what I'm used to, and but it was really fun and it was humbling, and I really loved the guys for having us on. So yeah, it was a great time. Actually, yesterday I think the highlight was it was Slovakia. There was a tennis court with like the red dirt floor ground, and lots of really bright green trees and stuff. And I hung out there for a while and went for a walk around town. So yeah, it was really pretty. Okay,
perfect. And you will be in that opening position very soon again, because you will have 2 shows with Yellow Card. How did that pairing come about?
So we were offered the festivals, so this and Rock in Park and Rock in Ring and Download, and I think we just spoke to our agent and said, is it possible while we're over there, because it's such a long way from home, if we could get more shows and more opportunities to play, and that's what came back. Yeah, so it's cool to be playing with Yellow Card. It's very different styles, but they're one of those legacy bands, so it'd be cool to play with them and watch them play and perform.
Okay, perfect. And when it comes to your own shows, one thing I noticed when you played the May shows this year in Australia, you went with local support for each of the cities that you played. So what made you choose this road?
I think in our world of music, on the DIY and the punkier side of things, it always starts locally and with that local music community. And I think obviously all of the biggest and best bands today all started in that same place. We certainly did, and I think it's really important to kind of give those people a chance and an opportunity, and we also get to handpick the ones that we like the most. So it's good. It feels like just giving a little bit back to the place that we're playing in, and also kind of putting together the show ourselves so it feels how we intend it to feel. So if we get to pick the acts, then we get to kind of pick the vibe of the night and the overall like message and feeling of the night. So that's kind of that was important for us.
All right, perfect. So what is the vibe that you're going for? What is the feeling that you want people to leave a Trophy Eyes show with?
I think for a Trophy Eyes show, it's most important to me that people come and experience something real and genuine, that and visceral, and something that's innately human, and that's all I want. I think you know, and it's important that you can leave your life behind outside and come in and just experience music and a good time and have that kind of catharsis, and let everything go and enjoy yourself with like-minded people. And I think that's kind of what I want people to walk away with, is just an experience. And whether it's a sad or a happy or a fun experience or anything on the spectrum of feelings, it's just important to me that it's real and you have a real memory that of that time and of that place.
Yeah, well, it of course goes hand in hand with your music, because from the very beginnings you're just known for this gut-wrenching lyrics sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've heard you mention in some previous interviews for the past shows that while with the American Dream you sort of focused more on the production side of that tour. This was the goal for the tour that you just had, to channel that emotion, to really get it through. But you've played some big venues on that tour. Mm-hmm. So how do you even do that in such a massive venue?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. It's really easy in an intimate space to get those raw feelings across, because we're quite close together and the energy in the room is much more tangible. It's there. It's a thing. But in a big room, with a really high ceiling and a big stage, and you really do feel the distance between the artist and the people out the front. So to convey that kind of emotion, I think we work on like visual cues for lights and effects and things like that, or musical interludes that kind of go into the next thing. And we work very hard on how the set flows, so each song kind of runs into each other and you kind of take it on a bit more of a journey than if you were to just watch a flat out fast show kind of thing. So yeah, it is a little bit harder, but there's many things we do, like definitely like the lightscape and our production on stage, but also a lot of it has to do with kind of writing extra pieces so the songs feel like they're all one big thing, and you just kind of move between feelings and moments.
Right. You've mentioned the flow of the song, so does it get hard sometimes to pick the right set list? Maybe knowing that there's some fan favorite that you will need to leave out because it just wouldn't fit in the set?
I think that's I'm very much in favor of making sure that the set feels good and is its own thing, is correct in my mind. But there are others in the band that kind of like keep me centered and say, no, we have to play this song because that's why people are coming, and so that's good. They kind of like keep me down to earth with my plans and stuff. But yeah, if I had it my way, it would just be what I think sounds the best. But yeah, you do have to sometimes put in the singles or what people want to hear. So it's a bit of a balancing act.
What is a song that you would love to play on that stage again, but doesn't maybe fit in?
I think we kind of do go back and pick old songs and hide them in there pretty often. So we do get the chance to play a lot of those kind of more obscure or older or heavier songs. But if I had the chance, maybe I would play White Curtains from our album Men Move On. And that song is really interesting, like musically, I think, and it has a lot of emotion in it. It was fun to play, but I don't know if anybody really listened to it or liked it. So that's one thing that it would definitely get the reaction of like there would be some yawning in the crowd if we played that. But that probably, and I don't know, some really early stuff. Cutting teeth would be fun, but otherwise, we really just we try and keep fan favorites in the set list, and then we just swap out like our favorites, I guess, or what we want to play at the time, depending on what kind of show we're trying to put on. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, as we talked earlier, we last saw you in October in Prague, and it's been over 6 years of waiting for that. Of course, one of the main reasons was the pandemic. And you've talked a lot about how it impacted the band, how basically you felt drained because of the lack of connection and everything, and how it made you basically change your mindset about touring, about songwriting. So what was it that flipped that switch specifically?
It was when we went into the studio, I think. Kind of when the world had shut down, and it was really only then that I realized how much of my life is this. I always used to think that my life and this were separate things, and I kind of treated music as work, and would just show up and clock in and play, and it became like that. And I think in a way to kind of get through just the monotony of it, and sometimes how much of a challenge it can be, touring and overnight drives, and just how hard it is on your body and your mental health. And so I think having that approach to it, I was able to separate my life into two things, like work and then the rest of my life. And then when the world shut down, I had all that time at home, and I was like, oh, like that, I guess that really is most of my life. I had to kind of learn who I was again, and face the rest of my life without that part of me in it, which was strange. It kind of took a lot of my confidence away, and it was wild. But when we went back to the studio after all of that time off, we started to write music again, and it felt like, I remember thinking to myself then when I was writing music, after all of that time of not being able to travel, I thought, I'll never ever complain again about an early flight. I'll never whinge about a 6 o'clock flight ever again. And it helped me manage my expectations of what I want out of this. And I think what I want is just experience and the joy of getting to perform my art and having a space to kind of do that. I'm one of the luckiest people in the world to be able to kind of get up on stage and scream about things. There's really no other place you can do that. So I think that's how the change happened. I think it was just starting to write music again, and I realized just instead of seeing what I do in a transactional sense, more of like a necessity. All right.
So not just chasing something, but really enjoying it.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect. Well, this would be the perfect time for me to ask logically, what's next for Trophy Eyes? But since you mentioned you're trying not to chase like long-term plans now, I will ask something different. You've mentioned that you have been recording a new album. So with this changed mindset, how was the experience this time around? Was it different in any way, now looking back at it?
Well,
or being in the process of?
Yeah. So we're in the very early stages of the record that's to come. Before I was referring to our previous record, but
sure.
This one is in the very early stages of writing. It's just mostly in demos done at home and sharing it with everybody, but it does feel like there's like a certain element of excitement in there that really hasn't been there for a long time, since probably when I first started writing music. It's a lot more raw and honest musically, like sonically, it has a strange kind of magnetism to it that keeps me interested and keeps me kind of digging and writing. And it is very early stages yet, but there is something very special in there, I think, and I'm very excited to kind of take it to a studio and kind of chisel it out and see what it is.
Well, it sounds great, and we will be looking forward to whatever is to come, whatever it is to come.
Thank you.
And since I need to let you go to get ready for your show, do you have any final message for your Czech fans?
Yeah, I would just say thank you, and thank you for waiting for so long between shows, and we'll be back as much as possible, as soon as possible.